Hi all, I've been at a 40k tournament this weekend and it was great fun. It was Nailhammer 4 hosted by tabletopevents.co.uk and it was really friendly and a competitive environment. I can certainly recommend people to check out their future events and all the links are in the description. If you want to know how I got on and my findings, then make sure you watch to the end. Does that really work ever? Anyway, I've put a chapter marker so you can jump to there if you really want to. A 2-day 5-game tournament with a really nice mixed meta and a mixed level of abilities. The guy that won went on to 5-0 and actually has aspirations to be in the top 50 in the UK. And I built my silly list around having a Ta'unar Supremacy suit. So essentially, I was just building a 1000k army to go along with it. I knew it would be an uphill struggle in a competitive setting. All the details of my list are in the description. Now let's see how we got on. My first game was against Knights, and being honest, I couldn't have asked for a better matchup. A few high wound models that can't really hide against my high damage output, elite shooting. I got first turn and dished out a lot of damage, taking out about half his army and damaging others. Even with fast units the Knights had, they couldn't really get into melee. Second turn I finished off most of what was left. He had one armager that came in on deep strike and he tried to charge long strike. He failed the charge and a reroll and then I killed him on Overwatch. Just a sign of how the game went. I won by turn 3 and just tried to max out my points. Really fun game, perfect opponent, and it was a fun start to the weekend. Second game against Deathwatch, and I knew I had a tough game up against Space Marines. They got lots of units, buffs, rerolls, saves, litanies, psychic powers, and good at both ranged and melee. Going in second, it made it even harder for me as they swarmed the board. The Marines want to be in the centre after all for oaths. And also some great shenanigans with a turbo-boosted chaplain on a bike, pulling a squad with thunderhammers with him. So they're actually really mobile. Obviously being Xenos, Deathwatch get even more buffs. So there's so many rerolls and pluses to attacks, it was scary. It was particularly hard for the tower, who were loaded up with only a few high damage shots, that getting through a squad of Marines is actually tough. It really kills a few models, but wiping out a whole squad is hard, and then they start getting put back again by an apothecary. I tried, but the game ended up in a convincing win for the Marines, and the Ta'unar was taken out. The key great moment in the game for me was my one-wound commander going on a rampage with his Onager Gauntlet, and single-handedly killing 3 characters and a squad of snipers. The third game up against Marines again. Same problems as before, but different coloured troops. The difference was lots of Storm Shields, Blade Guard, Dreadnoughts, however not the same level of buffs as the Xenos-hating Deathwatch. The game was actually very close. My Ta'unar was standing proud at the end, with everyone else hiding. Marnius Calgar took 3 pulse drivers to the face and walked away, which was pretty impressive. It was a very close loss for me, and the secondary choice made it hard as I wasn't very efficient. I didn't really have the units to be doing actions, and the centre of the board was so swarmed with Blade Guard I couldn't really get there either. But I was happy with an 86-78 loss. The start of a new day and I played against Orks. This was a super silly and fun list with 3 Squig-Offs, a Gargantuan Squig-Off, Stomper and Morkanaut. Just massive things running at me with advance and charge, so it was actually quite scary setting up. However, like the Knights, this is a good matchup for Tau, and I got first turn, which is a big one, killed half his army, dominated the board, and tabled him by the end of turn 2. I actually ended up struggling to max out my secondaries because I had nothing to kill. And it was a really quick game, so I felt a bit bad about how powerful my shooting was, but I guess that's just how it goes. And that put me at 2 wins, 2 losses. My last game of the weekend, and I was worried about playing Space Wolves. There was an excellent player with lots of melee, fast, and tons of deep striking Terminators. It filled me with some dread. I did get turn 1, half the Space Wolves were in deep strike, and I had good positioning and a layered shooting to kill character protection before going after characters. And before his turn 2 was bringing in deep strike, I basically cleared the board of all his units. My Ta'unar ended up on 4 wounds after a drop prod dumped out a load of multi-melters, so I knew it would be gone soon. I'd also gone after his backfield squad with my commander and punched them to death. By the time the deep striking Terminators came in, I had commanding board presence and a points lead. I couldn't max out my points because of my secondary choice, but achieved what I could. Still lots to play for, but my shooting range and mobility was actually just still devastating. That fun game finished the tournament. I ended up on 3 wins and ended up in 3rd place. I came 3rd overall and won Best Painted, which was absolutely amazing. And to answer the big question, is taking a Ta'unar as half your army worth it? Well, maybe and maybe not. Just for fun, then definitely. To be competitive, then not really. It's just not efficient at 1,000 points. Come join me in Nailhammer 5 in June. The details are on the Tabletop Events website, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!